What is up, 7th grade? This is lesson 31. Our objective is how do you read and write decimals? First of all, let's remember, in working with fractions, the top number tells you the number of parts or how many that you have, whereas the bottom number tells you how many parts there are in a whole, or how many parts it makes to make one of them. So today we're going to be working with a special type of fraction that has a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000. And these we write as decimal numbers, or what we call decimal fractions. In decimal fractions, we can see the numerator, but we cannot see the denominator. That means we can see the top, but we can't see the bottom. The denominator of a decimal fraction or decimal number is indicated by the place value, or where it's at in respect to the decimal. So on the following pages we can see 3/10. So 3/10 is like a 0.3 because it's in the first place after the decimal. If we have 0.03, that's like saying 3 over 100. See, this is the tenths and the hundredths place. And then so on, here's the decimal. This is in the third position, so this is 3/1000ths. So this is what we call a decimal fraction, or what most people call just decimal numbers. And so you cannot see this is represented by where it's at with respect to the decimal. So here's the decimal point. These parts here on the left we already know: ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millionths. But this right-hand side is maybe a little new. So right to the right of the decimal place is the tenths. Notice it kind of reflects that 10. And also notice they don't have any ones. We start with tenths. And then hundredths, which reflects the hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000ths, millionths. And so this is like 1 over 10, 1 over 100, etc., etc. So it says, in the number blah, 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 which digit is in the thousandths place? So let's remember that this is the ones and the tens. But we're talking about thousandths with the th on the end, so we know we're talking about a decimal number. This is tens, then hundreds, then thousandths. So the answer would be 5. It says, name the place occupied by the 7 in this number. So this is tens, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. And then example 5 says, read this decimal number. Now let's remember, or let's learn, whichever the case may be, that whenever we get to the decimal place is where we say the word and. So decimal place is and. And we already know how to read this one over here. This is 123. Then we say the word and. Then we would say, read this number, and then name the place value of the furthest one to the right. So this is 123 thousandths. So 123 and 123 thousandths. Now this is going the opposite way down. They're going to give us words, and they want us to write numbers. So it says, use digits to write these decimal numbers. So part A here says 75 thousandths. So remember, here's the decimal place. We have tens, hundreds, thousandths. So the 75 is going to end in the thousandths place. So this is going to have the 5 here because it's 75. So it's going to look something like this: 0.075. Now people will ask, do I need to write this number here in front of the decimal place? And technically you do not have to, but in this class we are going to, because it helps us not lose that decimal place. And please make sure that you write the decimal place clearly so we can see it. So yes, write the 0. Yes, write the 0. Yes, make sure the decimal place is visible. And write that. Alright. And then here, part B says 100 and 11 hundredths. So 100, so this is the decimal place right here, the and. So it's going to be 100, we know how to write that, and, decimal place, 11 hundredths. So remember, after the decimal place, we have tens, hundreds. So it's going to end in this position. And since it's 11, it's going to look like that. So it's going to be 100.11. Alright, your homework is on page 225. You can do all the 31s, all the 30s, and 12 more of your choice.